So this is a super cool feature. If you have cruise control on and you have the I call it autopilot steering active, as long as you keep your hands on the steering wheel, it will pretty much drive itself. You can see it just subtly moving just to stay centered in the lane, which is actually pretty nice. Hello everyone. This week's rental is the Subaru Legacy all-wheel drive sedan, four-door sedan, sitting on some Yokohama tires on 18-inch rims. This Legacy has the Subaru conservative styling, but looks very nice at the same time. It is powered by an inline 4-cylinder engine. It does come in a turbo variant for a more sporty driving experience. Take a look around. Trunk space. Let's have a look. Seems to be pretty spacious. That's a carry-on. We could probably fit a few more in there. So I categorize this car as one of the smart cars. You actually walk up to it, and you hear the beep, and you can actually open up the door. Now, let's do the back seat test. So I'm here, 6-foot driving position. I'm gonna hop on in. And in the car back seat, I have a fistful at the knees. The headroom is pretty nice as well. Could easily fit 3 adults back here. Center console has its own air vents and a USB-C and USB-A, and also seat warmers, back seat warmers, which is nice as well. This is like a leather pleather type of trim, and center console comes down to get you an armrest and 2 cup holders. All right, let's hop in the front and see what's going on up there. All right, so open up. Before I hop on in, I want to point out this nice little feature where the seat kind of extends for the driver, which makes it very comfortable in long drives. All right, so we're gonna hop on in and start up the car, and we're greeted with a nice dash. So as you can see, I classified, as I said earlier, I classified this as a smart car, a very smart car. Already it tells me that my seat belt's out and I forgot to close the hood, but it has the info, digital info in the middle, and your tach and speedometer on the right there. So moving down to the steering wheel, you have your controls, phone controls and radio controls, and then on the right hand side you have your cruise controls. You have paddle shifters, and you also have your wheel. I don't know what this is actually for. I'm going to try it out when I'm on the road. Just noticed that. You have your windshield wipers along the steering columns, and then your headlight controls on the left hand side, air vents, and then your hood and your light brightness over here. You also have settings over here on the door, along the vents for seating positions. You also have your window controls and your side mirror controls as well. So, which is very small right here, is your door locks. It took me a while to kind of find out where that was. Nice little storage area for the keys, and then small little storage area and cup holder. As the Harman Kardon stereo system, which sounds really nice. Starting from the top, you have your windows, and it does slide out. Your window visors. This model trim is the base model, but it also comes with a sunroof, which is nice. And your dome lights over here. But the big thing about this car is everything is the center console. You get a really big, looks like a 12-inch vertical mounted display, and all your controls like AC, infotainment, and radio is all on this screen, which takes a little bit of getting used to. Like the AC is all touch control screens. I find it all right, but it kind of lags as well sometimes. It does have Android Auto, and then once you hook it up through the USB, you could have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay wirelessly, which is nice. Moving on down, you have more ports, auxiliary, USB-C and USB-A ports, your electronic e-brake, your gear shifter control knobs, 2 cup holders. Center console has this section, and then you would have to pull this up to expose the inner storage area, so there's 2 little levers right here. So if you want to pull it up just to expose everything, it's going to be the right lever, but if you want to pull it up just to expose the top piece, it's the left lever. That's kind of neat as well too.
Glove compartment area is pretty standard. Storage space. And there's a little bit of a storage area right here for the passenger, and also on the side as well, right there. Overall, car is very, very comfortable to sit in. There's really no blind spots whatsoever. But the big centerpiece is actually this screen that controls everything. So that's why I labeled this kind of a smart car. All right, so let's take her on the road and see how it drives. Okay, so the Subaru Legacy sedan, all-wheel drive. Performance-wise, since this trim model is the base model and only comes in the 4-cylinder or variant, performance as horsepower is not really there. It does pretty much lack in power, but in real-world instances, besides hearing the engine just rev up and here at work, I really had no issues passing cars and reaching 0 to 80. Once you get up to speed, it does pretty well in maintaining that speed as well. It has sharp handling, very responsive with the, probably has to do with the electronic steering system, and also probably because it is an all-wheel drive vehicle, it does handle pretty nicely. So I'm actually out here in Kansas and also Missouri. So Subarus I've seen is pretty popular, maybe because of the wintry season where you would need all-wheel drive, and Subaru's known for true all-wheel drive and not probably the assisted, so it's real true all-wheel drive. So now we're getting up to speed a little bit. I'm doing 75 and I step on the gas. It does kind of struggle a little bit to get up to 80, and you hear that engine's revving. It works a lot in the higher revs. That's where it's going to spend most of its time if you're trying to use the power. Of course, it does come with the turbo variant, so I hear that one's a little bit more respectable in power and speed, but this will do just fine for your everyday usage. So steering, responsive, braking, responsive as well too. It stops on a dime, no issues there. Cabin noise is a little bit, I would say moderate on the high side, but then again, this is really a base model, and it's standard in its class for this level of cabin noise. Where this car shines, where this car really shines is in comfort and safety. So the seating and the padding is really nice and comfortable, and it has all of the safety features you could ever imagine and then some. So you have your standard lane departure,
settings. Let me see. There you go. Lane departure. It even shines up in the dash. You have your blind spot indicator that lights up. It's very subtle, so it doesn't make too much noise. And it even has something called, it actually reads your eyes or your face. So if I'm looking out right here, it actually should beep and says that, you know, keep your eyes on the road. So that's pretty cool as well. Overall, this is a very nice rental car. It's comfortable. It provides adequate power, useful power, and going through the twisties on the back roads, I actually had a lot of fun. Nice, big, comfortable, could fit 5 adults easily, though with 5 adults with the extra weight, the power of the inline 4-cylinder engine may prove to be of a struggle, but for one person, I don't see any issues with that. So this is actually the first Subaru that I was able to rent. So there it goes. It tells me to keep my eyes on the road. That's funny. But yeah, so first Subaru, really impressed with it. Provides adequate power with comfort. No issues, really no real complaints. If anything, if you have a chance, I would actually try to opt for the turbo model just for that extra power. But for everyday usage, I really had no issues in doing my day-to-day tasks and work and whatever I had to do. So that was very nice. So I rate this rental as an A, and I wouldn't hesitate to get this car again. This time around, since I flew in from the airport, I rented from National. National is part of Enterprise. This is actually classified as a standard car for National and Enterprise. Usually the other trim that I would get, class car that I would get, would be the intermediate. They're slightly larger cars, and there's more options available in that class. But yes, Subaru Legacy all-wheel drive sedan, great little rental car. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. One last thing, since it is a 4-cylinder, it does very, very well with fuel economy. On a full tank, I'm able to get around 450 miles to the gallon, or on a full tank of gas. So that's pretty impressive. So